Basketball in March, nothing like it. And you're tuned in to this presentation of USA South Basketball, here presented on the Berea College Sports Network. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in to this titanic matchup between two teams that know each other very, very well and will meet together in Berea, Kentucky to see who goes to the big dance. Hey, everybody, my name's Nate Metz. Joined to my right, Mr. Lane Hinton. And for today's broadcast, we've got a big one. Berea College Mountaineers taking on the Piedmont College Lions here in the Seabury Center in the USA South Women's Basketball Conference Championship game. Lane, my man, we watched some great basketball yesterday between Maryville, William Peace, Berea, and Piedmont. All four teams put up great efforts, and at the end of the day, Berea and Piedmont were the ones who moved on to now create what seems to be almost like a, you know how boxers always have those big trilogies? This is a great trilogy here. Piedmont beating Berea each of the last 2 years in the conference championship game, looking to get to their fourth conference championship in a row and hanging another banner. This is going to be an exciting matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, I'm ready to get into this one. I know that the Mountaineers are excited as well. They look at this game as a little bit of a revenge game, if you will. You know, like you said, they've been meeting in the past two championships the last 2 years in a row. This makes it number 3, and I know that the Mountaineers are going to come out fired up. They're going to be ready to go. They want to get the best of them in this one.
Piedmont ended up beating Berea last year in the conference championship game, 74-67. And the year before that, down in Greensboro, North Carolina, Piedmont beat Berea College 69-63. So very close games, decided by 7 and 6 points respectively. Lane, we saw Piedmont get off and run against a top 25 team in William Peace last night, and they were able to handle, it was a close game all the way up to pretty much the end, despite the score being a 10-point margin at the end. Piedmont looked very good, a little thin necessarily. They bring like 40 people, it seems, over on their bench. However, they really played, maybe 7 or 8 individuals. They didn't get too deep into their bench. Is that a concern, do you think, for the Piedmont Lions?
Well, I think anytime you go up against a team like Berea that uses their depth really well, they have a lot of players that they substitute in that aren't just in there for filler minutes. They're in there to produce and provide quality minutes and rebounding presence, as well, as we saw last night with Destiny Love coming off the bench and getting 18 rebounds. Unheard of, and I think that's going to be an area of concern for the Lions. Like, how can you slow down their bench if your starters are going to be tired the whole game? We'll see how deep they go into their bag tonight.
So with that in mind, the Mountaineers definitely have to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, though, when they're coming in to take on this Piedmont team. They're on their home court. The last 2 years, they've been denied by Piedmont to get to that big dance. In the USA South, looking at the conference schedules that each of these teams have played, neither one has played probably a truly tough enough schedule to get them into the NCAA national tournament if they don't punch their ticket here today. It's all or nothing, Lane. The stakes have never been higher for either of these two teams, especially not this year. And it's going to be an exciting matchup for these Mountaineers at home. You got to win at your home court, though. Time to take care of business if you're Coach Milby's Mountaineers.
Absolutely, and you talked about being in their home arena. That gives you an extra edge when you wake up on game day and you say, yeah, we're hosting the conference championship in our arena. They have the home crowd out here. That's going to really help provide some energy. I know that they're looking for the student section to come in, get the other players a little riled up. Berea is kind of known for that small student section, getting other players involved. And I just think that the energy in here is going to be electric come game time.
As it should be, and everyone tuned in right now on the Berea College Sports Network, we thank you here for tuning in, and hopefully we'll be able to bring to you a nice, smooth broadcast of some fantastic women's basketball today on the Roland Weir Willie court. On the side of Piedmont, of course, they've been rolling all season long. They were not the favorites yesterday. William Peace, being a nationally ranked team, the number 1 team in the East, didn't seem like they cared. They were able to keep the pace with a team that likes to get out there and run, which is very similar to Berea College's style. Defensively, Lane, what do you think Piedmont's going to have to do in order to stop Berea from getting into their transition bag, if you will?
Well, I think number 1, it starts with limiting turnovers. Really, how well can you control the ball? Whoever has the fewest turnovers gives themselves a great opportunity to win this one. And then Berea also has the edge on the three-point line, which is something that Piedmont, I'm sure, is going to come out focused, running their shooters off the line, forcing them to drive. But you have to be cautious of the free throw line as well. Berea comes in this one with an 8% differential on the free throw line, shooting 68% compared to the Piedmont Lions 60%. So keep them off the foul line, keep them off the perimeter as well, and those are going to be big keys.
Now, with that 8% you were mentioning, Piedmont yesterday, their three-point defense held William Peace to only 8.3% from beyond the arc. That's huge. Does that happen every game? No, of course not, right? Everything usually comes together. Didn't quite happen yesterday for the Pacers. If Berea College, especially Leah Parker, can get going from beyond the arc, maybe Aaliyah Hampton, the USA South Player and Rookie of the Year, if they can get going from beyond the arc early, that could be big for the Mountaineers.
Absolutely, and the Mountaineers have a couple of players that can get hot from deep. Aaliyah Hampton, Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, averaging 20 points coming in this one. Phenomenal three-point shooting percentage at nearly 49%. And then Kristen Barnes, a senior on this team as well, has had a couple of streaky games. We saw her 2 weeks ago hit 4 threes to start the game, and last night she really couldn't get it going early on. But I expect her to continue to shoot with confidence, and you got to make sure that you're closing on every shooter.
We should be just about set here for the national anthem and starting lineups for you on this one. As the two teams get ready to go, Lane and I are going to step away just for a quick second for our nation's anthem. But folks, when we come back, we've got starting lineups and the tip-off ceremony here for you on the Berea College Sports Network. A nice recorded rendition of this nation's anthem has just been played through the wonderful Seabury Center, and we're all set for the Lions and the Mountaineers to go at it here in the USA South Conference Championship game. Nothing like it, Lane. March basketball. Man, the energy is just so much better in March, isn't it?
It's a great feeling to just be in this gym, to see all these teams go at and play at their highest level. We saw 2 fantastic games yesterday, and I expect a third great game here today as well.
Indeed we should, Lane. Looking now at the starting lineups for both of these teams. Going down this list here, first, of course, for our visiting Piedmont Lions. Should be great to see what they're able to bring to the table today. First of all, for them, it's going to be, of course, Amari Price. Amari Price, at number 0, is a player to watch. He's a senior out of Hiram, Georgia, as well as number 4, Emily Wiley, who is a bit of a three-point specialist for them. Carla Cantrell out of Elijah, Georgia, as well as the big bad Brittany Walker at 6'3". She was a force down low in that last game. And Nakia Washington rounding out that starting lineup for the Lions. Lane, what stands out to you the most out of this impressive and tall Piedmont team?
I think there's 2 keys for them. Can you get Amari Price going early? She is the leader of this team offensively and defensively. And then, Washington had a great game yesterday, 25-9. We'll see what kind of impact she can have today.
On the other side, with the hosting Mountaineers looking to win their first chance to the NCAA National Tournament, you got to expect it's going to be a big game out of Bailey Vanover, the starting point guard out of Richmond, Kentucky, as well as Aaliyah Hampton, as I mentioned earlier, the Player of the Year in the USA South. South. Nikisha Green will be in there. We didn't talk much about her in the pregame show, but she needs to make sure she plays more than just 4 minutes in the game.
Absolutely.
Can't get into foul trouble early. Has to get out there. She's 12 rebounds away from 1,000. That's a big mark for her, but I think more importantly, she wants to continue her career and punch her ticket to the national tournament.
Absolutely. I think you said it well. You know, she had some foul trouble yesterday, but they had players come in and step up big. But Nikisha Green is not afraid of these huge moments. She's been here before, and I know she wants to take home this chip.
There are two other seniors that you need to keep an eye out for in this one. Bethany Williams, a starting guard out of Newport, Tennessee, and, of course, Bree Lanham, the hometown kid out of Berea, Kentucky, looking to roll her way, finally reaching that pinnacle. The Mountaineers climbing that mountain, if you will, and getting to the national tournament. It's going to be a fun one to watch. You got the juggernaut in Piedmont roaring their way into this matchup against the hosting Mountaineers. 10 minutes on the clock for this first quarter, and we are just about set for basketball in Berea, Kentucky. Two coaches for today, Coach Trent Wood-Milby over for the Mountaineers and Coach Jamie Purdy for the Lions. Both fantastic coaches, and it's going to be fun to watch these two get fired up here for this game.
Absolutely. Both coaches really have control of their locker rooms, control of their teams, and their players respect them, and that's going to be huge.
The tip-off is just about set. Walker versus Nikisha Green. And the championship matchup has begun. Bailey Vanover will have the tip, so the Mountaineers will start. Vanover crosses the timeline and is picked up by Amari Price. Crossing over to her left now is Vanover. Not much place to go. A nice little mismatch there, it seemed. Washington working on Vanover. Vanover now skipping over to Lanham. The triple to start. That one no good, offside iron, and is rebounded by Walker.
I don't think that's a bad shot from Lanham. You'd like to see your senior come out confident, not afraid to shoot it. I expect him to go back to her.
Hampton puts it on the deck. She's going to be able to steal that basketball and give it off to Bethany Williams. The senior will then pass back over to Hampton. Hampton looking to drive inside on Washington. Laying that ball up, she'll be fouled and will head to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an area of emphasis for the Mountaineers all day. They have the advantage at the free throw line. Now, the trick is getting to the line. Can you create that contact? Can you get those calls? And most importantly, can you knock them down once you're there?
9 minutes and 21 seconds here at our first foul of the game. First free throw from Hampton is good. Knocking that one down. Mountaineers score first. 1-0 in favor of Berea. Yesterday, both losing teams struggled from the free throw line. We saw, Lane, especially Maryville, in that first game against the Mountaineers. Second free throw is good from Hampton. She's 2 for 2 on that trip to the line, and Piedmont looks to run it right back up the court. Here's Wiley looking inside for Walker, and she overthrows her intended target. If you're going to overthrow Walker, you threw that ball way into the stratosphere as that goes out of bounds. And Piedmont will be on defense with 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first.
I think that was the right play. Good look right there inside. You had the advantage down low, just a little too much on that pass, and I'm sure she's going to rein it in next time.
Just got to execute. As we were saying, Lane, water finds its level. Piedmont's going to be right there. Just got to shake off the cobwebs maybe after. It's a new day, right? You just played yesterday. The legs might not be as fresh. As now a nice pass inside, stolen away by Amari Price. Price is off and running. Price had 6 steals there in the first half, I believe, even of that game yesterday. Now out to Wiley for the lead and the three. That one no good, and it's going to go out of bounds. Looked online from our vantage point, just a little bit off to the left and short, and Berea will have it.
And right there, you see a little bit of the impact that Price can have on the defensive end of the floor. You mentioned it, 6 steals yesterday, but also great rebounding and facilitator as well.
Vanover has it. The sophomore guard out of Richmond. She'll be guarded by Cantrell. The mid-range jumper is no good, offside iron, and rebounded by Walker. She's got 2 boards here in the early going.
We're going to see what kind of impact Nikisha Green can look to limit Walker down low. A great rebounder herself, and I know she loves to play that physical brand of basketball, so we'll see how that develops.
Wiley passing over to Cantrell. Now Price. Screen set by Washington. Here now is Wiley. Back to Price. 7 seconds to shoot. Driving in now is Wiley. The stop and pop jumper is good. Rattles around and goes in. And Piedmont equalizes it too.
And Price doing a good job making a play for her teammate right there. And great recognition by Wiley to see that they had the space on the jumper. Good execution knocking it down.
Here's Bree Lanham. Lanham, the hometown hero. Gives it off now to Vanover. A lot of local talent here in this gym, of course, for the Berea side.
Yep, I have 3 players on the roster from Berea.
Mid-range 2, no good from Vanover. It's going to be rebounded by Wiley. And now Price will have it. Price reading the court, passes now over to Cantrell. A nice feed inside, but it's blocked away and stolen by Vanover. I think that was the active hands of Bree Lanham with that one. Here's Bethany Williams. Williams absorbing a little contact and giving off now to Hampton. Hampton. 15 seconds to shoot, and here now is Williams. Williams standing about 22 feet from the basket. Skips now over to Hampton. 9 seconds to shoot. Hampton guarded by Washington. The skip pass now to Vanover. Diving inside. She's going to be blocked by Walker. Walker hits the deck. Price has it. Price loses it. And that's a foul called on Vanover for the ankle trip.
And Vanover had a good opportunity right there. Great move to get past her defender. Just couldn't get that one. A little too much contact for her to finish through. But I expect her to keep driving it in. She does a great job of putting pressure on the defense and forcing them into those foul situations. Didn't get the call there, but I expect her to go back to it.
Cantrell will give it back to Washington. Such an impressive player is Washington, and she will fight through the double team, give it to Walker. Now inside to Cantrell. Nikisha Green right there defensively, and Walker's going to put it in. It's easy when she gets that kind of a look on the low block. Piedmont leads by 2.
And that's great work from the Lions to bring Green out of the paint. A great shot blocker, but anytime you can get her drawn out and get it inside, you're going to have the advantage.
Here now is Aaliyah Hampton working on Amari Price. Driving to the left, going up, no good. It's going to be rebounded by Bethany Williams. Williams giving back now to Hampton. Now over to Vanover, looking to take that extra pass. She'll pass now back to Hampton, and it's tipped away by the active hands of Washington. 8 seconds to shoot. It's stolen away by Washington. Only Vanover to beat. Washington goes up. Washington goes in. Piedmont leads by 4.
And transition opportunities, like we talked a little bit about in the pregame, this is going to be an area of focus. Can you limit those turnovers? And one, can you get back in transition? I know the Mountaineers love to run, but can they defend the run as well?
Here's Vanover now. Under 6 to play in the first. She loses it, but Bethany Williams is there to pick it up. Williams has been saving Berea on a number of occasions. A couple offensive rebounds for her and saving them right there.
Yep, and it doesn't go to the scoreboard or the box score, but Nikisha Green actually saved that last possession with a tip-out rebound.
Here's Hampton, the runner. That one is no good, as rebounded by Washington. Probably a little contact there by Bree Lanham, but Price will heave it up to Cantrell. Cantrell on the low block, and the Mikan drill pays off perfectly there as she's able to go from one side to the other, puts it off the glass softly and in. 8-2 in favor of Piedmont.
And the Lions making a little bit of a run right here. Mountaineers struggling offensively. Who's going to be that person to step up and get them a bucket when they need it?
Here's Bree Lanham. Back over to Vanover, needing the 3 to fall. It indeed goes off the front of the rim and is rebounded by Bree Lanham. Lanham guarded by Washington. Now Vanover. Vanover losing that one. Good hands by Cantrell to poke that ball free. 5 to play here in quarter number 1 as Hampton now drives to the left, loses it, and it goes out of bounds off of Hampton, and Piedmont forces another turnover.
And a little unusual for the Mountaineers to come out. They seem almost scrambled right now. I know the Piedmont Lion defense is putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers for Berea, but they got to slow themselves down and cut down on these simple turnovers.
Now the skip over to Ackerman. Ackerman now gives over to Price. We'll have it at the top of the key, and we'll feed inside to Ackerman. Ackerman's mid-range 2, no good. May have been blocked a little bit there by Hampton, and Nikisha Green pulls down her first rebound of the day.
And we expect her to keep rebounding, like you said earlier. 12 rebounds away from 1,000, make it 11.
Here now is Wiley after the missed shot by Berea. She'll be able to feed it up to Walker and then give it over to Cantrell. Cantrell will cross the timeline with 4:30 to play. Destiny Love, who had 18 rebounds off the bench yesterday, will check in. Here's Amari Price to the lane. That one's good. Beautiful look there with the left hand. Amari Price so smooth when she gets just an inch of space. And at the first timeout mark, a 30-second one, Piedmont leads 10-2.
And Price right there just very smooth with the Euro step, getting it inside to the teeth of the defense. She's very quick out there, and you got to be a little more willing to send some help defense than stop that drive. And I think one of the keys for the Mountaineers focusing on this timeout, you got to slow down transition opportunities, and you got to cut down on those turnovers. Just giving the ball away, giving them too many opportunities to score.
Moreover, Lane, Piedmont right now shooting 71% out of the gun. That's a nice start for them compared to Berea College's goose egg. They haven't hit once from the field, and that's going to be big if Coach Milby wants to turn this team around. He didn't even break out the clipboard there in the huddle. He just said, ladies, probably just got to make a basket.
That was my spot-on impression.
That was my Milby impersonation. Yes. So anyone listening, you can. I've got plenty of them, folks. Plenty of them. Here now is Aaliyah Hampton, all out of love, obviously. Fantastic coach here, and he finds himself and his team down by 8 here early. Here's Aaliyah Hampton. Hampton drives over to the left. She'll give it off now to Kristen Barnes. The senior going up, looking for their first bucket of the day. It can't hit, and it's rebounded by Walker. Walker's been a problem there for Berea in this one. She's already got 3 rebounds in this game.
Yeah, it's hard to match up with that size, and I like the substitution bringing in Love. You know, she had a really hot game yesterday, 18 rebounds. We're going to see if she can continue that impact off the bench.
Mackenzie, who just checked into the ball game for Piedmont, will give over to Price. Ackerman can't hit from the free throw line. Good job by Leah Parker, who also just recently checked in for Berea, knocking that ball over to Hampton. Hampton, guarded by Price, will give out now to Barnes. Barnes working on Mackenzie. Puts the ball on the ground, and it's going to be a foul call to reach in on Mackenzie. So that'll be the second foul called on Piedmont.
And for the Mountaineers, you like to have anything to go your way at this point. That's a good foul call, good drive right there now. Can you capitalize? Can you get this possession? Can you get a bucket?
0 for 9 are the Berea Mountaineers here to begin this game. Needing that to change if you're a Mountaineer fan. Here now is Hampton. May start right here. Hampton goes to the lane. No good. Rebounded by Bree Lanham, and that's going to be a jump ball call. Good job by Piedmont to get their hands on the orange. And it's going to go back in favor of the Lions.
Yep, and great effort by Lanham right there just to try to fight for that rebound. You know, it's easy to get down when your team's down as much as you are right now and things aren't going your way, but you got to give that consistent effort, and that's why her teammates respect her so much.
Here is Wiley. That ball knocked away. It'll be stolen by Berea. No, it's going to go off of Lanham, and Ackerman will have it. Ackerman, the bounce pass to Walker in transition. That ball, no good. It's going to be rebounded by Love. Love now finding herself trapped there in the double team. Giving it off now to Barnes. Barnes in transition gives it to Lanham. Needs the triple from 22. That one's good, and the Berea Mountaineers are on the board from the field at least for the first time today.
And they finally cracked the seal. It's great to see that first one go through, and who else would it be but Lanham, the senior leader.
Here now is Ackerman. Ackerman over to Wiley. Wiley looks off the triple. Into the lane she goes with the left. It's good. Good take there by Wiley. And she's got a 7-point lead for the Piedmont Lions. Barnes now has it, guarded by Mackenzie. And now Hampton will reset at the top of the key for BC. Now the 3 from Parker. That one's no good, but rebounded by Price. Price will race through a couple Mountaineers. She's only got Lanham to beat. The dump off down low to Ackerman. It is good. Rolls around the rim and goes through the cylinder. 9-point lead here for the Lions.
And there it is. We see Price's playmaking ability once again. A great leader for this team. Had 5 assists in their last contest, and I expect her to continue to lead that offense.
Price looking over to her coach, needing a break. She's been playing great here through the first 8 minutes, and they're going to look to have Hansard check in for the Lions. Here's Bree Lanham. Lanham's guarded by Ackerman. Lanham is going to be called for, no, that's going to be 3 seconds in the lane called on Kristen Barnes. Milby throws his hands in the air. It's you don't see that call all that often, but that indeed is a rule, folks. A lot of people do complain about that rule, like officials. Like, hey, you don't call it on one side, but you call it on the other. No, I mean, it is what it is.
You don't want anyone down there building a campfire.
Exactly.
If you sit that much time in the post, it's easy to get that position. And, you know, the post isn't supposed to be easy. It's a lot of hard work down there.
5-14. Berea College trails Piedmont. Here's Hansard. Hansard, that ball is going to be a jump ball call. So Bree Lanham gets it going back in favor of BC. Bree Lanham been playing inspired basketball. She knows, just like every other senior here, that they don't want this to be their last ball game. Same goes for the Piedmont seniors.
Exactly. They're playing with a sense of urgency now here after going down a little bit, and that's what you need. You need a lot of energy, and that's what's going to get you back into this ball game, chasing after those 50-50 balls, giving yourself an opportunity.
Love now kicks back to Vanover, then over to Parker. Parker guarded by Mackenzie. She's got a look. She's going to go up strong. That's no good, but rebounded by Love, who puts it back up. She's fouled and will head to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
And she continues her good work. You know, great rebounding yesterday. Good effort right there, and it's plays like that that's going to help you get back into this one, you know, fighting for every opportunity. Can she knock down these free throws? That's the big question.
Walker will look to check back in for the Lions. That free throw is good for the Mountaineers, and Walker wanted to make sure she's good to go. Second free throw here from Love is good. Amari Price also checking in, as well as Brittany Walker for the Lions.
Now Berea is 4 for 4 from the free throw line. That's a good start. Obviously a very small sample size, but they would like to continue that trend as the game progresses.
1:26 remaining in the quarter. 7-14. Piedmont leads Berea. We'll see if Piedmont can win the final 90 seconds. Leah Parker's going to have a steal for the Mountaineers. Good job there by Parker. Not often getting into, real physical situations on the perimeter, but she's able to get the steal.
Yeah, normally more of a finesse and skill player, but you like to see that effort right there.
Here's now Barnes going through the lane. It's going to be a foul called, and she will now go to the line for 2 free throws.
And I think they listened to me earlier. They heard what I said about getting to the free throw line, and they're doing a good job of creating that contact right here. And so far, so good from the free throw line.
Barnes' first free throw. That one's good, 5 for 5. Berea's got 8 points, 5 of which coming from the charity stripe. Berea shot over 30 free throws in that matchup against Maryville. That was indeed the difference in the game.
Absolutely. Anytime you get that many free opportunities, you're going to give yourself a great chance as Barnes knocks down that second one.
5-point game. Price will then heave up the left-handed pass to Mackenzie from 22. That one's no good and rebounded by Vanover. Under a minute to play here in the quarter. Hansard will pick up the defense. Vanover now kicking back to Barnes. She steps into the triple. That one's no good and rebounded by Amari Price. Price looking down court. You love to see the vision from that point guard in Amari Price, reading the defense, seeing what they're giving her. No matter what point in the court she's on, she's always looking toward the hoop.
Yeah, and I'm sure her teammates appreciate that too. Very unselfish player.
Here's Hansard giving it now to Cantrell. Cantrell swings the ball above her head, now looks back to Hansard. 9 seconds to shoot. Hansard working on Brie Lanham. She'll lose it. It will go out of bounds. No, it's going to be picked up by Destiny Love. And the shot clock now will be rendered irrelevant as we start to end this first quarter. BC down by 5. Just going to have to probably hang on and have one last shot here, Lane.
Yeah, you don't want to give them another opportunity to score going in this quarter. If you can get a bucket right here as she misses that floater, but Love with the rebound and put back.
Nice job there by Destiny Love to get Berea back into it. And at the end of the first quarter, Berea College trails the Piedmont Lions 11-14. Well, Lane, after 10 minutes, I got to say, my man, it's more and more fun as the game goes on, right? And, one team's just going to get to celebrate out there on the court. But ultimately, I love what I'm seeing out of both these teams. They're both nervous, probably. They're both out there running. Right now, of course, Piedmont wins that first quarter. Berea gets a little momentum at the end, but I'm liking what I'm seeing out of these Piedmont Lions.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot to see from both teams that you end up liking. The Mountaineers came out a little jittery, like you were talking about, maybe not quite ready, but they really turned it on there in the past few minutes. And the Lions, just from the get-go, they were ready. Price is doing a good job of leading the offense, and they're doing a good job inside converting those easy layups and buckets.
Now, I'm not one generally to comment on someone's hustle, right? But I am, like I said yesterday, Lane, a big fan of the eye test. Yesterday, there were times in that William Peace game where Piedmont was down and Amari Price looked visibly frustrated. We saw that. She would walk back on defense at times. She's the leader on this team, though. And this game, I'm not seeing a morsel of that she had yesterday. Today, she is focused. She's a senior trying to bring her team back to the NCAA tournament for the 4th time. She's already been there for the first 3 years of her career. Why would she want to stop now?
Yeah, and I think her coaches probably got into her about that body language that you were talking about that we saw yesterday. And, more than the leader on the court, she's an emotional leader for this team. She is at the helm of everything that they do on the offensive and defensive end.
Here now is Wiley for the Lions. Wiley guarded by Kristen Barnes. Barnes, a tall guard out there on the perimeter. Here's Cantrell working on Lanham. Now back out to Wiley. Steps into the 3. That one is no good and rebounded by Destiny Love. Love going to put the ball on the deck. It's going to be nearly stolen there by Amari Price. I always freak out whenever a big is dribbling the basketball, like every coach probably out there, but Berea will have it, down by 3. And now here's Destiny Love from 18. No good, and it's rebounded by Cantrell.
And a shot that she normally doesn't shoot, really does her work inside right there. Probably look to pass it out, but, she was open. You got to make them respect you.
That's going to be a foul called on Leah. I believe that's Leah Parker. Be the first foul called of this second quarter.
And the refs really letting the players play today. Not too many whistles that we've seen, at least so far.
From a worker's perspective, we definitely love that too. Here now is Cantrell from the corner. 18 seconds to shoot for the Lions. She'll give it up now to Wiley and then over to Price. Price looking inside for Washington. Washington puts it on the deck, goes off the glass and in strong.
And Washington, a great player for the Lions, coming off of a hot game yesterday, 25 points. I expect her to get more involved as this quarter progresses because she can really be shoulder for the scoring load.
Washington will knock that ball out of bounds. Good defense there from Washington, showing that she can do it both on the offensive and defensive side. There's a reason why Piedmont gets to the national tournament so often. It's because they have players that are willing to do both. Here's Vanover, making sure that she doesn't go back across the timeline for an over and back call. Under 20 now to shoot. Lanham cutting toward the point guard. It's nearly going to be knocked out of her hands. Here's Vanover. Vanover, that one's no good. Rebounded by Wiley.
And I think the defensive pressure from the Lions is throwing the Berea ball handlers out of whack. You know, normally they're not the ones being pressured. They like to do the pressuring. So we'll see how they can respond when it's on the other foot.
Hand check call there on Bree Lanham. Scratch that. That's going to be on Kristen Barnes.
Yeah, she ran through that screen from Amari Price right there. She hits the floor.
Aaliyah Hampton back into the game for Berea, 0 for 4 so far in this one. Here now is Cantrell. That's going to be a foul called on Parker, and indeed there was some sort of contact there, be it wrist or ball. We can't see from our angle, obviously, but that'll be her second foul, though, and interesting to see that someone who doesn't get as aggressive like we were talking about, Lane, already has 2 fouls in this game, and a steal for that matter. So maybe just got to leave it all out there if you're Leah Parker.
And foul trouble is something that is going to be a big area of concern. You got to pay close attention to that. We saw 3 players foul out yesterday,
which is crazy
I believe.
for Maryville.
Yeah, absolutely insane, and that's why you got to do your work on the defensive end, try to make sure that you're not hand checking or anything like that, and watch those fouls.
Here now is Aaliyah Hampton. Aaliyah Hampton needing it to go. That's a wild shot that does not fall. She was trying to get to the free throw line. Here now is Parker, the long 3. That one's no good. Rattles in and out like the Cali Burger chain, and it's pulled in by Amari Price. You knew it was coming at some point, Lane. I'm going to have to keep you on your toes. Amari Price loses that one. It goes off the hand of Kristen Barnes and out of play.
Ask for the Nate special right there.
Indeed.
But I think that's a good look. You know, I had a great shot for a great shooter in Parker right there. Just sometimes it doesn't go your way, and they'd really like to start knocking down a couple of those.
Here's Mashenzi. Mashenzi driving into the lane with the left hand. No good. It's going to be a blocking foul called on Aaliyah Hampton. And so Berea will be called for their 4th foul here of the quarter. Only 2 minutes and 7 seconds in. Berea's going to have to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah,
otherwise
spoke a little too early there about not many foul calls. Now they're calling it a little chippy, sending the Lions to the line a lot, and they're doing a good job of being aggressive and forcing the issue in there.
Mashenzi's free throw is good. 11-17 in favor of the Lions. Mashenzi looking to knock down her second free throw here and give her team a nice 3-shot lead. That one is no good and rebounded by Bree Lanham.
Touched just about every part of the rim before falling out.
Here's now Aaliyah Hampton. Hampton guarded by Mashenzi. She'll give now over to Kristen Barnes. Barnes now back to Hampton. Hampton looks off the 3. Hampton right now 0 for 5 so far in the game. 12 and a half minutes in on this wonderful conference championship matchup, and as I say that, she's able to knock down her first field goal of the game.
Yeah, and unusual for her to start at that low of a shooting percentage. Normally a great shooter, and finally gets one to go through.
A foul called there on Berea as Mashenzi falls over. That's going to be Destiny Love who gets called for knocking into her. So that's 5 fouls already for Berea. Now that would have been a shooting foul either way. But that will indeed put Piedmont in the bonus for the next 7.5 minutes, Lane. That could be big in the second quarter.
Yeah, you got to be very cautious if you're the Mountaineers. You got to look to do your work early and avoid those chippy foul calls. If it looks like a player has the advantage, you might as well just let them get that one. And, I'm not a big fan of letting easy buckets go by, but it's better to stay in the game rather than foul out.
Mashenzi's second free throw is good. So 3 for 4 here is Mashenzi so far. And she'll hustle back for the Piedmont Lions with a 6-point lead in her back pocket. Here now is Aaliyah Hampton. Hampton had her first bucket fall in the last offensive possession for Berea. We'll see if she can maybe do it again. Here now down on the baseline is Love. Love gets it to go from 10. And Berea College cuts the lead for Piedmont down to 4.
And I like that confidence from Love. Just missed that same shot a couple possessions ago, but doesn't hesitate, pulls it, and knocks that one down.
Here's Amari Price, guarded by Aaliyah Hampton. What a great matchup that's going to be for the rest of this match.
Yep, 2 of the team's best players guarding each other, both great point guards.
Now Cantrell inside. Big block there by Destiny Love. Now inside for Walker. No jump ball call. They're going to call a foul, and Coach Milby is going to give an earful to the officials.
And visibly frustrated is Coach Trent Milby over there. Not happy with that call. Wanted that jump.
Hard to tell whether or not anyone had clear control in there. I mean, the thing is, Walker, when you're that tall, you don't want it down there with the rest of the small players. You got to get that ball way up where no one else can get it. And she was trying to get there, and it's going to end up having her have a couple free throws. We'll see if she can knock him down. And she misses the first one. Now, Milby would argue, of course, the ball doesn't lie. We'll see, indeed, if she can knock in the second one.
Yep, and Walker, a big contributor for the Lions, doing a great job inside, getting to the foul line and creating contact, and see if she knocks it down as she makes that second one.
So here now is Hampton. 5-point lead for the Lions. 6:30 left to play here in the quarter. Hampton crosses the timeline and is picked up by Cantrell. Nice pass inside for Love, using the glass effectively, and the Mountaineers are right back in it, down by 3.
And Hampton, more than a scorer, showing off a little playmaking right there, getting her teammate involved. We've seen Love have a big conference tournament performance right here yesterday as well, and doing good here today too.
Now diving on the floor is Hampton. Hampton's able to get it out now to Bethany Williams, and she's off and running. Williams now crosses the timeline, guarded by Mackenzie, gives it to Parker. Parker now skips it over, knocked away by Washington for Piedmont, and now for the tie, it's good! Bree Lanham from downtown, knocking it in and equalizing at 30.
And Lanham knocks down her second triple of the game, and you know they love to see that. Anytime you can get a couple to go from beyond the arc, it's going to feed into your confidence in every other aspect.
Here now is Mackenzie, guarded by Hampton, and that's going to be a travel call on Mackenzie. Don't know about that one, but ultimately, Berea College fans will be happy. Berea now has the ball, 20-20, 5:41 left to play here in the quarter. Hampton guarded by Price. Bethany Williams can't get it to her. She's going to find it to Parker, and it's stolen away by Mackenzie. Mackenzie now goes up, misses that one, and it's rebounded by Bethany Williams. The pace of this game has just gone through the roof. Now a skip pass over to Lanham. Lanham steps into the 3 for the lead. It's no good, and that's not good for Piedmont or anyone for that matter, as Washington comes up limping after Amari Price fell into her. We'll have to keep an eye on that as this one continues.
And you saw some good execution right there. They just want to run and get down. Can't get the shot to go, and that wasn't the best look right there.
It was not. I don't like that out of Washington. She still is a little limpy, but hopefully she'll be able to continue. A nice pass there from Hampton to Williams for the lead. That one's no good. Rebounded by Bree Lanham, and she's fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. If there's one player that I've seen out here for Berea at least that is giving it at her whole 100%, it is undoubtedly number 32 in Bree Lanham. What an incredible performance for her so far. Not scoring a ton so far in this tournament, but right now she has got her team tied at 20, might be able to give her the lead between her for Berea and Amari Price for Piedmont. This is everything that I was asking for in a basketball game, and maybe even a little more.
Absolutely. You talked about Bree scoring right there. Normally not the go-to scorer for the Mountaineers. She was really her first 3 years here, but this year she's taken more of a backseat role, deferring to Hampton and other players like Vanover, doing a good job of getting her teammates involved, but when her team needs her to step up, she's not afraid to do so, as we've seen today.
So let's take a look now, Lane, at the statistics for this, 15-minute mark in this ball game. Right now, leading the way for Berea, Destiny Love, big game for her, 8 points and 4 boards. Bree Lanham, 6 points and 4 boards. She might have a couple more coming from the free throw line. Over for Piedmont, Emily Wiley's got 4, and Nakia Washington has 4 apiece. And then Brittany Walker's got 3 points and 4 boards. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of everyone. Amari Price also 2 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and a couple steals to her name too. Another great Amari Price style of game.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player, and the numbers for both of these teams so far are very similar, and that's exactly why we're tied at 20. Berea's got a couple more three-pointers to go, but just about every aspect of the game's been similar.
Lanham's first free throw is good, giving Berea College the lead now 21-20 in favor of the home team. 4 minutes and 57 seconds will be left here in the half. In the quarter, I suppose.
And Washington being reevaluated here on the sideline, trying to get those steps in. Looked like she might have rolled her ankle on that play.
Let's hope that she's able to get back in sooner rather than later. Here's Wiley. Wiley guarded by Williams will give it off now to Price. Price working inside with the left, goes up off the glass, no good. It's going to be rebounded by Price. She goes up and in. You can't deny her twice there, Lane. Good find inside, and that's going to be another tying shot here for these two squads, 22 apiece.
And that's why coaches always tell you, follow your shot. You never know who's going to get a tip out, or sometimes it comes right back to you. Easy bucket for Price right there.
Here now is Williams. Williams giving now to Love. Love working on Walker, skipping that one way out of bounds. Nearly threw that one into the upper deck here at the Seabury Center. It's going to be another turnover for Berea, and Piedmont's going to have a chance to take the lead.
And Love, much more of a rebounder and inside scorer than a playmaker, and she tried to get a little too much right there.
She wanted to get an assist in there, too. She's already got a couple boards and a couple points.
Trying to pad the stat sheet.
Here now is Cantrell. Cantrell running to the baseline, guarded by Hampton. Not a lot of time. She's going to be able to find Price now. 15 seconds to shoot for Piedmont. Price throwing that one into Walker. Walker through the trees, gets it in. Good take by Brittany Walker, and she's got a 2-point lead for Piedmont.
And what are you going to do about that one? Just a little too much height advantage down low, and Green trying to do her best to defend that, but whenever she's got 3+ inches.
Aaliyah Hampton, a beautiful floater there. So you can't go through Walker, you got to go over, and that's a tall task as is. She's able to tie it up at 24. Nice move there for Wiley, and Walker's going to get called for the over-the-back call. That's a close over-the-back call there, Lane. Do you think it was the correct one?
I think it really could have gone either way. Safe to say it was with Green down low, doing a good job of boxing her out and doing that good work early to establish a position inside.
Now checking in for Piedmont, Michaela Szymanski. And now Bailey Vanover will take this ball down the court for BC. Here now is Bethany Williams, 24 apiece, as Nikisha Green will be back into this ball game and gives it to Vanover. Vanover can't hit. Rebounded. No, it's going to be Nikisha Green getting called for the foul. The rebound goes to Szymanski.
Yeah, and if you call that over the back, you probably call that foul as well. Now we see the referees being a little more consistent and just calling it very chippy on both sides. And when it's called like this, when there's a lot of fouls being taken place, you have to knock it down from the free throw line. You have to execute, because that could very well be the difference in the game.
So see if Szymanski can knock these in to give her team a lead. 24 all, 3 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And Szymanski hits that one off the back of the iron.
And the Lions shooting at right around 50% from the free throw line. Might drop after this.
Second one on the way. That one is no good. So rebounded by Bailey Vanover. And she'll hustle down the court. She's picked up by Cantrell. Here now is Lanham. Lanham with 6 points in this one. Scratch that, 8 points in this one. She'll give it now to Bethany Williams, who uses her body effectively. It's going to be rebounded by Nikisha Green. Green now back to Hampton. Shot clock resets at 20. Hampton. Chest pass now over to Williams. Williams in the lane. It's going to be a steal there for Piedmont. Wiley's off and running. Now Price, guarded by Hampton. Now Vanover picking up Price as she'll pass now over to Cantrell. And now Ackerman. Ackerman in the lane, gives it now back to Wiley. Wiley going through Williams, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Bethany Williams. She didn't have her feet set there. I know a lot of Berea fans have their hands in the air, but she didn't have her feet set. That's just the rule.
A little late, and it's really tough to get that call, especially on the defensive end. More often than not, it's going to be called a block, as we see right there. You got to do a little better getting there earlier.
And in that lane, I'm sure you can attest to this more being a basketball player yourself, jumping in front of a defender, you have to be so fast to jump in front of a defender, set yourself, protect yourself, right, especially if you're on the guys' basketball team, right, and take that shot, right, and make it convincing enough for an official to give you the nod, right, and call the charge. Not quite going to be the case right now.
Yeah, taking a charge is something that was always very difficult to do, and that's why I preferred to block the shot instead.
There you go. Well, it's easy when you're as tall as you are. But 2 minutes and 33 seconds left here in the quarter. Piedmont leads by 1. 24-25 is our score, as Aaliyah Hampton will have it. Pass now over to Vanover. Vanover now gives it to Lanham. Lanham's guarded by Ackerman. Not a lot of movement inside. Now here's Nikisha Green back out to Vanover. Vanover, the chest pass to Ackerman, is going to steal it. It's going to be now up to Amari Price. Price now has it stolen by Bree Lanham. May have been an over and back there. Lanham's going to give it now to Vanover. Vanover racing inside, going up strong. No good. Rebounded by Nikisha Green. No good, but she'll head to the line for 2 free throws.
And that's championship effort from both teams right there. Great save by Ackerman to keep the ball alive, and then a lot of hustle by Lanham to get that one. Maybe the over the back call, or over and back call. But they get rewarded for their hustle right there as Green's going to the line, and we'll see if she can hit them.
Nikisha Green at the free throw line. First one is on the way and no good. So see if she can tie it up at 25 as Leah Parker and Destiny Love look to check in. Got to imagine Destiny Love will be coming in for Nikisha Green here, so if Green can knock this down, she will make an exit. Second free throw, no good. Rebounded by Ackerman. Ackerman's going to give it now off to Cantrell. We've got under 2 minutes left to play here in the quarter. Cantrell on the low block has that one blocked by Green. Now here's Szymanski. Can't get it to go, and it's Lanham who picks it up. The behind-the-back dribble from Lanham. That's sweet dribbling there. She gives it now up to Aaliyah Hampton. Hampton looking for a lane. Spinning in. She goes up strong. No good. Rebounded by Green. Nikisha Green swinging through the trees, trying to get it out to her intended target in Hampton, and it's going to be a jump ball call. Great effort there by Aaliyah Hampton, knowing the play was going in favor of Piedmont, doing everything she could to dive on it, and it's going to stay here with the Mountaineers.
Yeah, great effort from the Mountaineers, starting with Nikisha Green down low, getting that offensive rebound, and she does a great job of just being a monster on the glass and securing those boards, and it ends up paying off as they maintain the possession. Rebound goes to Barnes.
Here now is Barnes. Barnes now gives it to Ackerman. Ackerman will now give over to Price.
41! Kelly!
1 minute, 13 seconds remaining. .14 to shoot now for Cantrell. Cantrell trying to force that one back out to Wiley. She can't get it done. And Barnes is going to get called for her second foul here of the game.
So one thing, though, Piedmont Lions would like to really focus in and dial up their free throw percentage right here, you know, shooting less than 50% on the game, but they've gotten a lot of looks, and you'd like to think, you know, if you made a couple more, this lead would be extended if you're the Lions.
That free throw is good from Cantrell. So Carla Cantrell has her third point of the game. Brittany Walker doing it all for the Piedmont Lions, and she's got 5 points, 4 boards, and 3 fouls, so really filling up that stat sheet, obviously.
And those fouls are going to be something that we watch very closely as this game progresses. You know, she was a big player for them yesterday, and if she's not on the court, that's going to hurt them.
Here now is Love on the baseline. She's got a lane. Back out now to Parker for 3 in the tie, and it's good. Bullseye from deep, and we've got a tie ball game at 27.
And a long-range sniper in Leah Parker. That's what she loves to do. She doesn't care if she's 5 feet behind the line. She's not going to hesitate. She's firing.
Here now is Amari Price. Price driving with the right hand, throwing it up wildly. No dice, says the officials, and it's going to be rebounded by Hampton.
Now slowing things down here, making sure they get the last shot of this half with potential to lead going into the locker room. That'll be huge.
16 seconds remaining here in the half. Berea College has the basketball. Aaliyah Hampton, USA South Player of the Year. Only the second player to ever have Player and Rookie of the Year in the same season. She can't hit there. Rebounded by Wiley. 1 second left on the shot clock. No good. And at the end of the first half, our score is everything we wanted it to be. 27 for Berea and 27 for Piedmont. Heck of an effort here out of both teams through the first 20 minutes. Lane hitting my man. Tell me, what did you think about both of these squads here through our first 2 quarters?
Well, number one, I just love the effort from both teams. You know, that's why the game is tied right now. Both teams diving on the floor, chasing after those loose balls, doing a great job of rebounding on both ends. One thing that you'd really like to clean up if you're the Lions, you want to, you know, start knocking down those free throws at a more consistent clip. That's really going to help you build a little bit of a lead. And if you're Berea, you got to make sure you're continuing to crash the glass. They've done a great job. They have 9 offensive rebounds in this first half, and I expect them to continue that effort.
Now going forward, obviously, there are going to have to be a couple adjustments that are made. Very low-scoring first half, I would argue, for both of these teams. They like to get out and run. If you're Coach Milby, right, and you're trying to get to that first national tournament for himself, obviously, at the collegiate level, He's over there. Right now I see him thinking about what he's going to say to these girls. What do you think he's going to say to them? Is it more of a technical thing, or do you think maybe it's a motivational style from Milby?
I think Milby's always a motivator. He always does a great job of getting the best out of his players, and I think this halftime is going to be no exception. I think he's going to be really calling players out and looking for that one player who's going to step up and score for them, because, they've struggled. There's been scoring droughts for them a couple of times throughout this first half.
Now with that, on the other side, Jamie Purdy, they've got to do a little bit better on the execution side right now. 50% from the free throw line. A lot of meat left on the bone there. Turning the ball over more than Berea, right? Especially there toward the late going of that quarter, allowing Berea to get themselves back into it. Berea wins quarter number 2. Piedmont wins number 1. We'll have to wait and see what comes out here in quarter number 3.
Absolutely, and one thing that the Lions really need to focus on and lean into is their points in the paint. They really have the advantage, plus 10 points in the paint currently, getting results whenever they go inside, and they're getting to the free throw line. It's just a matter of, can you start knocking down those free throws?
Indeed, it should be a fun one to see. We're going to have the official statistics from that first half for you here after Lane and I come back after about a 10-minute-ish break during this championship halftime intermission. But when we come back, we're going to have half number 2 for you. Q3 coming up in 13 minutes. Don't go away here on the Berea College Sports Network. Back now on the Berea College Sports Network. Nate Metz and Lane Hinton with you for this call. Lane, I was able to get a chance to talk to both coaches actually during this halftime break. And let's start with Piedmont. Coach Jamie Purdy looked at me, hesitated for a second, said, Anthem, 8 points, 6 boards. Nikisha Green needs only 7 rebounds to become the first woman in Berea College basketball history, I believe, to have 1,000 rebounds in a season. She already has a school record in spades, so it should be an issue if indeed they can extend their season by 1 game. But if she can get it here on her home court tonight, that'd be pretty special for Nikisha Green.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you made some great points right there, talking about the effort from both teams, really, but namely the Mountaineers. Great effort, just can't convert on the shots, and they just need one player to really step up and shoulder that scoring load, and we'll pay close attention to it here.
Nikisha Green has 1 of those 7 rebounds she needs. It's good to see Washington back out there on the court after leaving with a bit of an ankle injury, it seemed, or a lower leg injury in the second quarter, I should say.
Yeah, and you like to see that because you like to see both teams playing at their best in a game like this.
Yeah, especially you want to see the USA South represented by the best, whoever that might be. Right now, 27-27, 9:30 to go in the third quarter. Who knows who that's going to be at the end of the buzzer. Here's Lanham for 3 in the lead. No good. Rebounded by Nikisha Green. 5 more for 1,000.
Chipping away at that all-time record.
Hampton for 3. It's good. Bullseye from the top of the arc. And Berea leads by 3.
And there it is. She knocks down that triple, gets Hampton going, and I'm sure Coach Milby had some words for her at the half.
Here now is Washington inside, blocked by Bethany Williams. Back up is Ackerman. A great finish by Ackerman. After the block shot, everyone kind of sits back stunned, right, when obviously Bethany Williams, much shorter than Washington, going up and swatting it. But excellent work by Piedmont to be right there in position. Ackerman completes the 2.
Yeah, great effort, and that's what it's going to take to win here in these final few minutes. You got to be consistent on every play. Whether you miss or make the shot, you got to be ready for a rebound.
Now here's Bethany Williams losing that one. Nikisha Green gets the board. Green now kicks out to Vanover, but it's going to be intercepted by Amari Price. She gives it now to Cantrell. No one to beat, and she's going to give Piedmont the lead, 31-30 in favor of the Lions.
Got to get back in transition, something like we talked about earlier in the first half. Those transition opportunities have been too easy and too often for the Lions if you're the Mountaineers.
Here's Bethany Williams. Williams working on Wiley, spinning into the lane, blocked there by Ackerman, and Ackerman's going to get called for, no, they're going to say it was a jump ball. Milby not pleased with the way that Bethany Williams just jumps right there into the lane.
And Williams really looking to get that contact right there, get those foul shots in.
A late call there. And that's going to give Berea the basketball again, bailing BCL. Here now is Vanover. Vanover 0 in that first half, really. Not a good start for her after being so effective yesterday. She'll go then off the glass, and as I say, the broadcaster's reverse jinx apparently works for her. And now Berea takes a 32-31 lead.
And Vanover finally getting that one to go, and that's great for her, getting that confidence behind her.
Foul called on Nikisha Green. Nikisha Green's foul there. That will be her second of the game. That will put, I believe, Washington on the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, and that was a great drive by Washington. Good recognition to get it into her body, and we call that folding the big man. Whenever you can create that contact and force Green to bring her arms down, they're going to call that almost every time.
So Nikisha Green will make an exit, and Kristen Barnes will check in.
And now, interesting, Berea going with a 5-guard lineup right here, saying maybe we don't need the rebounds, looking to really score and ramp it up.
So Washington will settle in for this free throw, and it is good. So I think Coach Purdy might have held her breath a little bit on that one, right? Obviously, the point of emphasis, get to the line and make them. You work so hard in practice on these, you need to make sure that you can complete them in the game.
Yeah, and that's why it's so frustrating as a coach, because you spend so many hours on something that you think is simple, and then come game time, you really got to execute it.
Here now is Kristen Barnes, tie game at 32. Now driving to the baseline is Barnes, looking in now for Williams. Williams puts it on the deck, goes up strong and in through contact, and Berea College leads by 2.
And that's great team play right there from Kristen Barnes as we come away with a steal. Hampton on the break.
Nice move by Hampton. She's fouled and will head to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, and like I was saying right there, good job from Barnes to create the play. Great cut by Williams to get it in there, and fantastic concentration to finally nail that one, get the layup to go. And Hampton's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws right there. Too quick on the break to guard in transition.
Hampton looking to put Berea up by 3. She does indeed knock down that first one. 7:19 left to play. My birthday, actually, Lane. So if you're looking to give me any
7:19.
bow ties maybe or something like that, 7:19. Keep that in mind.
Got you.
35-32 as Hampton knocks it down. The USA South's best free throw shooter is 2 for 2 on that trip to the line, and she's got her team a 4-point lead.
Yeah, and the Mountaineers have executed all day from the free throw line, shooting a phenomenal percentage. I believe that makes them 10 of 12 on the day.
Here now is Washington in the lane. She's going to be fouled by, I believe that's going to be on Hampton. And indeed it is.
And that is Hampton's second foul. So something to pay attention to there. Normally a pretty good player at avoiding the fouls, but too early.
Here now is Washington from the free throw line. That one is good. Good job there from Washington executing to make it a one-shot ball game.
And Washington, a great player for the Lions, really balled out yesterday, had 25 points and 9 rebounds, and a great effort and a win, and doing the same here today, providing a good scoring presence for them.
I feel as if that was a quiet 25, though. I don't know why I feel that was a quiet 25, if that's possible to do. But I don't know. I felt like she was just everywhere on the court the entire time. No surprise. No shot or no good there on the missed shot by Barnes, but Bree Lanham gets the offensive board. Here now is Aaliyah Hampton, 15 seconds to shoot, 6:50 to play here in the third. Lanham back to Hampton, guarded by Price. Hampton working into the lane, now back out to Williams. That ball knocked away, 3 seconds to shoot, and it's going to be stolen by Washington. Vanover back with her. Washington gets called for the double dribble. No, scratch that, the carry. It could have been called for anything probably right there. But really, that's tough because she was looking for someone to pass to, and Vanover happened to just be in the right place at the right time to keep her from, I guess, thinking once, and she ended up thinking maybe 3 or 4 times before getting called.
Yeah, just enough to cause that hesitation. Good transition defense, and that's exactly what they're going to need to continue if they want to slow down the Lions in the break.
Kristen Barnes will now inbound after Berea College gets a little bit of a break there. Leah Parker will come in for Bailey Vanover.
And Parker, one of those players that can catch fire if you let her get one shot to go through. And we haven't seen her do too much today, but she's always a weapon.
Just 1 3-pointer made for Parker so far. She had 2 in that game yesterday. Now here is Parker, 15 seconds to shoot for the Mountaineers. Hampton now working on Price, losing it, giving it back out now to Lanham. Williams catches it with one hand. Now over to Barnes. Barnes driving baseline. It's going to be a blocking foul on the floor. And that's going to be on Ackerman.
And a good drive right there from Barnes, just getting the contact, and that's going to put them a little bit closer to the bonus.
Shot clock resets at 20. Now driving in is Lanham. Lanham loses it, I think, off of her foot. It's going to be picked up by Barnes. Barnes will be fouled. An offensive foul called on Kristen Barnes.
And a little frustrating as the offensive player. You do that good work to drive it inside. That gives her 3 fouls, I believe, so something to be cautious of as Milby's going to leave her in the game.
She's an offensive special. I mean, that's her thing. She's good on the perimeter, right? She's tall. She's able to get it done. Unfortunately, she's going to have to be a little more careful here. Still 16 minutes to play in regulation. Here's Mackenzie. Mackenzie working in on the left against Parker. She'll give now over to Wiley, then over to Price. Price, the mid-range 2 for the tie. Good. Money in the bank, and she drains it to tie it at 36.
And this is my absolute favorite matchup of the whole tournament. Price and Hampton, 2 of the absolute best players in the USA South, and I love watching them go at each other.
Bethany Williams wants Lanham coming to her. Instead, they're going to give it over to Parker. 15 seconds to shoot. Now here is Williams. Williams steps into the triple. That one's no good. Rebounded by Wiley. Now Price. Price is going to kick now up to Washington. No, it's stolen away by Hampton. Hampton now racing up against Price. Price will let her go, and she's going to knock it in, and Coach Milby holding those hands high in the air wants that timeout. And we're going to have a break here with 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So, Lane, again, 27-27 coming into half, right? And now here halfway through the third quarter, only a 2-point game still. What a great, great matchup between these two squads.
Absolutely, and both teams came into the half knowing what they had to do. They had to score, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. And I expect them to probably score as much as they did in the first half in this quarter alone, and they keep lighting it up, and I really like to see all that effort, and especially from the Mountaineers. You've seen them get back in transition. That was something that they really struggled with in the first half, and doing a good job in transition here.
Looking at our statistic leaders for the game, Nakia Washington leading the way for Piedmont, 7 points for her. Aaliyah Hampton with 11 for Berea. Ackerman will inbound for the Lions as they trail by 2 here at the halfway point of the quarter. Price will give now over to Machenzie. Screen set by Washington. Looking for a little pick and roll action there. Nowhere to go. It's going to go over to Washington. She saves it. Destiny Love playing defense out on the perimeter. Washington working on Love. May have an angle. Nice move by Washington, but she can't complete the sweet inside little jive there. I don't know what you want to call it.
The Hakeem Dream Shake.
Here now is Hampton. Hampton going off the glass. That one's no good. Rebound from Love, and that's a jump ball. Good job by Ackerman to hold on for dear life there, and it's going to go in favor of Piedmont.
Yep, and we see the effort from both sides right there. 2 players crashing the boards. They get tangled up right.
Great find there, and Washington can't finish. Love closing out, and Love gets called for the foul in the second effort.
And a little too overzealous on that shot, or the blocked shot attempt. Love really getting into the face of Washington, as of course they're going to call that foul. Anytime you swipe down hard like that, they're going to call you.
38-36. Now looking to tie this ball game up is Washington. She can't hit the first of 2 free throws.
And there it is. The free throw struggles continue if you're the Lions.
10 for 19 now are Piedmont. Is Piedmont, I should say. Got to get that grammar right still. We can't get lazy. I know it's March and all, and we're tired, but we got to keep pushing through. Our English professors would appreciate that, I'm sure. Here now is Barnes. Barnes giving back to Hampton. 1-point game in favor of the Mountaineers. Looking to, again, make it to their first national tournament in at least 20 years of some sort between their NAI and NCAA time. Now Price finding Machenzie. Machenzie blocked there by Kristen Barnes. It's a jump ball going back in favor of BC.
And tremendous transition effort like we've talked about. Barnes doing a great job of getting a hand on that ball and just disrupting her enough to get that jump ball, and it ends up going in their favor.
And now the Spartan herself out of East Lansing, Michigan, Newkirk will check in for the Lions. Should be interesting to see as Washington takes a quick break as she's discussing with her coach. Under 4 now to play in the third quarter. Now here's Bree Lanham. Lanham for 3. That one's good. Bottom of the sack. And Berea College takes a 4-point lead.
And great pass right there from Barnes. Good recognition to see that she had the space off of that screen. If you're not going to close out and guard her, she's going to knock that down all day.
Wiley now with it. Wiley working against Love. She nearly loses it. She does lose it. Picked up by Newkirk. Out for Price to answer. No good. The long rebound to Newkirk. Puts it on the deck. Big soaring block by Destiny Love. Fighting her way through defenders. And it's going to be a foul called on Newkirk.
And what an effort from Love that we've seen this whole tournament, whether it was yesterday or today. She has really stepped up in the big moment, and I expect her to get a couple more minutes as we go on.
This is incredible, Lane. I know you've been watching Berea all year long. Coming off the bench and the effort that she has put, not just in this game, but last game as well, unbelievable. Playing above and beyond her pay grade.
Absolutely, and you spoke about her right there. Something that you don't expect from her, but it's great to have that contribution from a player that you don't normally rely on a lot, and she's come through in the clutch.
Here now is Lanham. Put Berea up by 4 after that big 3-pointer made. Now Parker going up. She's fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
And Parker, a deadly sniper from the 3-point line, but the free throw line as well. I expect her to probably knock down both of these, and if she can get something going from the free throw line, maybe that'll extend her range a little bit.
That's interesting, to look at. You said she's a 3-point specialist, right, the sharpshooter from deep, but she's going to have to find herself on that free throw line at some point, right? So going to have to be able to work inside as well as she knocks down the first of 2.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's important as a shooter. Shooters, good 3-point shooters are generally good free throw shooters, but they don't get to the line a lot, and Parker misses that one, and I think it's important to be aggressive and drive in there and try to get to the line.
Here's Wiley. Wiley guarded by Love outside. Defensive switch for Berea. Now that's Lanham applying the defense. Now Ackerman driving inside. Ackerman puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Hampton. Hampton racing, and she's got numbers. Gives it now over. No, knocked away by Amari Price. Great defensive effort by Price, as now Machenzie will lose it. She'll be kicked out of bounds. It's going to stay here with Piedmont. Substitution coming in now. Washington will check in for Piedmont. I believe she'll check in for Newkirk, I would imagine.
And the crowd letting these referees have it. They're not happy with that call.
Piedmont will now inbound. A stack set here for Piedmont. Price looking for someone. She'll indeed find Wiley. 5-point lead for the Mountaineers. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Ackerman has it, 19 to shoot. Screen set by Washington. Now Ackerman from the top. That one's no good, offside iron, and rebounded by Barnes. Barnes now in transition. They'll be wanting to slow it down. Hampton will now reset, call a play of her own.
And it makes sense to slow things down here. You have the lead currently. You don't want to get ahead of yourself and turn it over like we saw a couple possessions ago.
Hampton now back to Lanham. The three from the top of the key. Bullseye from downtown goes Bree Lanham. She's got 14, and the Mountaineers lead by 8.
And what a time for your senior to step up. The biggest game potentially of her entire career, and she is coming through.
Here now, Price underneath, fouled by Barnes. That's numero cuatro for her, and she's going to have to be a little more careful now, Lane, considering we only got, 11 and a half minutes still to play here. She's probably going to have to take a breather.
Absolutely, and she's probably going to check out right here. And we see Price continuing her aggressiveness, driving inside, creating that contact. And, we see one star on the other end nail a three, and she comes right back at her, not afraid to fight.
So Barnes will exit. Vanover will check in. Minute 39 still to play here in the third. Amari Price on the line looking to knock in these 2 free throws, and she will miss the first of 2.
And they continue to just struggle, missing 1 of 2 every time from the line.
And now Szymanski looking to check in. Price misses the second one, and it's rebounded by Bree Lanham, closing in on a double-double. That's 9 rebounds for her and 14 points.
And great rebounding effort from a guard right there. She's not afraid to mix it up with the tall trees and put that effort on the floor.
Here's Hampton. Hampton working her way inside. The skip pass goes off of a Piedmont Lion, and it will stay indeed with Berea College.
And just tried to get a little too aggressive right there. Thought that she had an opportunity, an opening, and couldn't quite thread the needle on that one.
So Ackerman and Szymanski will check in. Scratch that. Ackerman will not check in quite yet. I would imagine she will be going in sometime soon. But Szymanski will indeed check in for, I believe that's going to be Mackenzie who will check out. Now here's Love on the baseline, working in on Szymanski. Gives it now to Parker. Parker in the lane. That one's no good. And a nice rebound by Amari Price. Price off and running. She'll pass now up to Cantrell. Cantrell lobbing it up for Washington. Washington stays with it. Foul called on Destiny Love.
And there it is. The Lions capitalize in transition once again. They don't get the bucket that time, but they're going to go back to the free throw line. Although they've struggled from the line today, they've done a good job of creating opportunities for themselves.
And now Nikisha Green sitting 3 rebounds away from 1,000. 4 digits of rebounding. That's incredible. Looking for that accolade. She already has the record for Berea. Looking to get a little bit more here and notch one more off of her personal career, at least, for a wonderful player for Berea College.
Yeah, and Nikisha Green, one of those players that may not ever really receive the limelight, but I think she deserves a lot more recognition. Not going to score 40 for you, but she might get 20 rebounds.
Here is Vanover. Vanover, 1 for 9 so far in this game, looking to facilitate this basketball with 1 minute left to play here in the quarter. 45-38 Berea College leads. Hampton drives to the left. She's going to throw that one wildly off the glass. No good. Szymanski with the rebound.
And the Lions are doing a great job of making sure that every time Hampton drives, she sees a wall of defenders in there.
Here now the rebound goes to Nikisha Green. 9:98 for her, and she'll give it off now to Hampton. Hampton now working the ball up the court. 8 seconds separate shot clock and game clock. Milby might want to go 2 for 1 here. Here's Lanham for 3. No good. Rebounded by Green.
One
Green
rebound away.
Gets it back now to Hampton. Shot clock I thought would reset, but it's not going to here. 19, now 11 seconds left to shoot. 12 here now to play. Hampton drives inside. She'll go off the glass, no good. She catches it through contact, and it's going to go in favor of the Lions, much to the ire of the Berea College faithful. The Berea Beloved, I believe they call them.
Absolutely, and with 6 seconds right here, it would be ideal for the Lions to be able to get some kind of bucket going into this final fourth quarter.
Here's Price, 3 seconds remaining. The 3 on the way. That one is no good, offside iron. And at the end of the third quarter, the Berea College Mountaineers have jumped out to a 7-point lead. 45 for the Mounties, 38 for Piedmont.
And I think one thing that the Lions are doing great right here is just making sure anytime a Berea ball handler goes into the paint, they are swarmed immediately. They see 2 to 3 players standing at the rim. Makes life difficult for them, forcing them to hit that outside shot, which hasn't been too strong today.
Looking at the statistics for both teams right now on a team perspective, Lane, turnovers pretty even for both teams, but you're right, tail of the tape, free throws. Berea College has made 11. Piedmont's made 11. However, Piedmont's had 8 more chances at the line. When you're down by 7, if you make half of those even, you're only down by a shot. Big changes there, and Coach Purdy's going to have to really lay into these girls and get them going if they want to make it to their 4th consecutive national tournament appearance, I suppose.
Of course, he talked about the free throw struggles, but also they have yet to hit a single three-pointer today. And I know that is worrisome. If you're the Lions, you really would like to at least get something to go from beyond the arc. And if you're cold going into the 4th quarter, that doesn't bode well for your shooting.
Berea College shooting 27% from the floor, not the way you want to run it. Piedmont shooting 35% for everyone wondering. But Piedmont finds themselves down by 7. We'll see if the Lions can come back. The juggernaut of the USA South women's basketball will now give from Washington to Walker, and it's going to be a shooting foul. That foul called on Nikisha Green.
And they've gotten good results every time they went inside today. Just a little too much size on the interior as Walker's going to go to the line. But can she hit the free throws? The big question mark.
Walker's free throw is good. Nice bucket there from Walker. Going to need that here with 9:49 left in regulation. Nikisha Green now 3 fouls for her.
These free throws start to add up, especially here in this 4th quarter. Every point becomes so crucial.
Second free throw, no good. Rebounded by Lanham. Vanover has it. That's a double-double for Bree Lanham. 14 and 10 on her margin. Vanover now gives back to Lanham. Nowhere to go. She'll give it off to Hampton. Now back to Bree Lanham for 3. That one's good. Are you serious? Drains it from deep, and Berea goes up by 9. Big block there by Nikisha Green, and the crowd gets into it.
And maybe a little momentum swing right here as you can see the Mountaineers start to build a little bit of a lead right there, knocking down the timely 3 from Lanham. What can you say about her that hasn't already been said?
Here now is Wiley. Wiley driving baseline against Hampton. Not going anywhere there. She's going to throw back to Cantrell. 16 seconds to shoot here for the Lions. Cantrell running through the lane. That ball, no good. Rebounded by Walker. Walker throws it back up. No good. Rebounded by Cantrell. And they're going to call a foul on Parker, I believe, for pushing a little too aggressively out of control on Cantrell. That'll be a foul on the ground or on the floor.
And if you're Walker, you probably want to take your time on that rebound right there. You had the height advantage, you had the board, but you try to throw up something quickly to maybe get that foul call. Take your time, make a move in there, and you probably score on that.
Here's Wiley. Wiley now gives it back to Amari Price. Price pulls up from 3. That one's good, and Piedmont finally hits from deep. Good shot there from Amari Price, and it's a 6-point ball game.
I always love that. You give up a 3, you get one right back. Say, I'm coming at you, I'm not afraid, and our favorite matchup, Price and Hampton.
Here now is Hampton with it. 22 to shoot as her screen will be set by Nikisha Green. Hampton pulls up from 2, foul called, and that's going to put her on the line for 2 more.
And Hampton does a great job of getting it inside, and she's always on the free throw line no matter what. She's just maintaining that aggressiveness, and pretty good free throw shooter, as you said earlier, leading the USA South in percentage.
First free throw good from Hampton. 7-point ball game for the Mountaineers, who beat Piedmont earlier this season. Here at home, I believe. Lost to them down
Hampton
in Georgia.
Now with 14, a potential 15 after that bucket right there. And she's really turned it on this second half. You know, almost maybe 1 or 2 buckets in that first half. Wasn't really having it going, but stepped up here big in the second.
Wiley now has it. Now over to Walker. Walker now back to Price. Price not wanting this season to end and her career here, at least as a Piedmont Lion, to come to an end. Inside now to to Washington. It goes off of Bree Lanham and out of play.
And if I'm the Lions right here, I'm getting it back into my bigs, especially Walker. She's done great work this game, had good results inside. Make sure you're making a play for her.
Walker's listed at 6'3", but I got to think she's taller than that. She's towering over Nikisha Green. Here's Cantrell, the floater. That one's no good. Rebounded by Cantrell. She gets it right back. It's going to be rebounded by now Wiley inside. She can't hit. Rebounded by Bree Lanham. No, rebounded by Washington. She kicks it back out now to Wiley. 3 extra chances, and we've got 3 seconds in the lane on Piedmont.
And a lot of effort right there from both teams, really fighting for those rebounds. And if you're Berea, you really want to cut out those offensive rebounds. It's too many opportunities.
And so we're going to have a timeout on the floor. It will be of the 30-second variety if Milby has one. Indeed, he does. And so we're going to take a quick 30-second siesta here on the Berea College Sports Network to chat a little bit about what this means. Of course, Lane, the winner of this goes on to play in the NCAA National Tournament. They punched that automatic bid. At-large bids, who knows? Piedmont did have a good victory over the number 25 ranked team in the nation. They've beat a couple good teams throughout this season. Berea College, they've had a couple good wins too, but most of them have been within conference at least. So you can't expect at least to get the nod from the committee. You have to get out there. You got to earn it. You got to leave nothing out there. Finish the business. If you're Piedmont, finish the business. If you're Berea, get to that big dance.
Yeah, and I think you said it well right there. Especially for these seniors, this may be their last basketball game of their career. So that they're going to put it all on the line. They're going to put everything out there. And I think that's what we've seen today. Both teams, great effort, great game.
Piedmont's 2 biggest victories here, according to our program, against Birmingham Southern and Berea College. So we'll see who wins here out of these 3 matchups. This is the rubber match, I suppose, here of the 2019-2020 season between these 2 squads.
Yep, these teams split their matchups earlier, 1-1, and this is the third and tiebreaker, if you could say.
Here's Hampton. No, a big block by Walker. Great job by Walker inside. And Cantrell's going to look to maybe slow things up for Piedmont. Here now is Price, looking to work this half-court offense. 7 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in regulation. She'll look inside for Walker. Walker blocked there by Nikisha Green. Gets her own offensive board, and Walker puts it back in.
And there
monstrous effort.
Getting results when you go into your big. She has been dominant today, and why not keep feeding her the ball? Continues to rebound well, get it inside, and that gives her her 8th point.
Here's Vanover kicking now over to Walker. Parker, for Berea. Vanover inside. Blocked there by Wiley and picked up by Cantrell.
And just great job by the Lions of forcing the ball handlers to see players in the paint. It's hard to get it over these big trees in the middle.
Here now, the mid-range 2 for Wiley, no good. Rebounded by Parker, and Parker's going to give it now over to Lanham. Lanham, she's got numbers, gives it now to Vanover, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Bree Lanham, and Coach Milby is beside himself.
Just a little too much momentum from Lanham right there. Tried to skip the pass over. Good positioning by Price to take that hit right there, and that could be a big, potentially game-changing call.
Momentum swinging over toward Piedmont side. We saw another, big momentum-changing call last evening when there was a intentional foul call against William Peace. Really was the deciding factor in that matchup.
Absolutely, and here, especially late, these final 7 minutes, each call is going to be scrutinized no matter which side you call it for. So that's why, these officials are paid well. They're the best at what they do, and hopefully they get the calls right.
Here's Machenzie. Machenzie trapped. She'll give inside to Washington. She'll put it on the deck, diving for it. Now they're going to call a foul on Vanover. And Vanover will get whistled here for her 2nd foul here of the game.
And the Berea beloved not happy about that one, but you like to see the effort from both Vanover and Barnes diving on the floor, and good concentration to keep that possession.
Here's Price. Price will bounce in now to Cantrell. Lions trail by 6. 6 minutes remaining in regulation of this USA South Championship basketball game. Hampton applying the defensive pressure. Now here's Price. It's going to be a foul called on Walker as she gave a little elbow there on Nikisha Green by the look of it, and that's number 4 here for Walker.
And this chippiness is starting to add up. You can see here in crunch time, both players being aggressive, fighting each other down on that low block, and being a post, you welcome that, honestly. You like this physical type of basketball.
Here now is Destiny Love checking in for Nikisha Green, so she'll take a breather. Aaliyah Hampton has it at the top of the key. 20 seconds now to shoot, under now 5 minutes and 45 seconds to play. Vanover Guarded by Washington, maybe a mismatch there as Barnes now has it, and that's going to be a foul called. And that will be number 4 for Piedmont in this quarter, so no bonus yet. Oh, they're going to say that was a shooting foul.
It looked like she might have started to gather and get into the motion of shooting.
If anything, I thought she was passing it. But yep, that's why I'm a broadcaster, not an official, I suppose. Barnes heads to the free throw line. The first of 2 on the way is good.
And Barnes, although she hasn't had it on from deep today, she's definitely done a good job of creating that contact and got a couple of free throws to go her way.
Second one good from Barnes, rattles its way through and goes in, and Coach Milby's going to call a full timeout. Lane hitting my man. Give us some statistical updates for these two squads. First, let me know what's going on with that Piedmont Lion team. Why are they down by 8 right now? What can they change, move forward, tie this ball game up, maybe even win to go on to their 4th national tournament in a row?
Well, the big thing that we've been stressing all day is the free throws. It's super important. As we saw, it can be the potential game changer. We saw game 1 yesterday because of free throws, and they've done a good job of getting to the line, creating that contact. Can they start to convert a couple more of these down the stretch? And they finally get that 1 3-pointer to go from Amari Price. Big game player, and we'll see if they can start to string together a couple more good baskets on the offensive end.
Folks, make sure that you check out the USA South webpage for all of your USA South needs. Go to usasouth.net to find out more about your favorite team, be it Piedmont, Berea, Maryville, William Peace, anyone in the conference. We've got them for you right there. And a big shout, of course, to the USA South for allowing us to broadcast this and present this for everyone at home or wherever you're listening to this game and watching it, hopefully. I hope it's been fun. It's been fun for us, definitely. And just another blessing here, March Madness, and it's all kicking off right here in the Seabury Center.
And one thing that I'm paying close attention to, especially on the stat sheet, no player in double digits yet for the Lions. And who's that player going to be? I expect probably Price and Washington going to get a couple more looks here in this 4th quarter.
Mackenzie can't hit. The rebound goes to Barnes. Barnes now gives over to Lanham. Lanham's guarded by Ackerman. She'll kick back now to Hampton. Vanover now to Lanham, the long 3. No good. Rebounded inside by Love. Love wide open on the low block. Berea, watch out, has a 10-point lead.
And she continues her fantastic play in this tournament, whether it's been off the bench or wherever she's coming from. Rebounding has been her MO.
Foul there on Vanover. Thankfully for her, at least, it wasn't an and-one opportunity because Price had a pretty good look there at the hoop, almost nailed it. That's just how good of a player Amari Price is. But she'll go to the free throw line for 2.
And Price creates that contact and a potential chance to go into double digits for her with we'll see after this free throw, but as of right now, 9.6 rebounds, 6 assists, a triple-double effort. As she knocks down that one, gives her the 10 for the game.
Second free throw is good, so over 2 on the first trip to the line, 2 for 2 on the second. Good job there by Amari Price to make it a single-digit ball game. Under 5 now to play. Bree Lanham now working through the full-court press. She'll kick it up now to Vanover and then to Barnes. Barnes now back to Vanover with 20 seconds to shoot. She'll kick now over to Hampton. Hampton, a freshman, big moment for her.
Yeah, and this is really the time in the game where you got to execute and cut down those turnovers. You can't be giving the ball away. You can't give away free possessions.
Barnes in the lane. She'll now dribble right back out. Not a lot of time. Skip past to Vanover. Vanover, as the shot clock expires, no good, and it's rebounded by Cantrell. Cantrell now gives it up to Mackenzie. Mackenzie, a nice Euro step. That one is no good and rebounded by Vanover. Good job by the guard to box out there and get that board.
Had a great opportunity right there. Clean Euro step, created a good look with the left hand. Can't convert that one, and bad time to be missing that.
Now Aaliyah Hampton with the basketball and a 8-point lead. Under 4 now to play. Hampton in the lane, open look, it's good. Mountaineers by 10.
And Hampton is putting her stamp on this game. A lot of presence. You've felt her everywhere. Just too quick to guard on the perimeter.
Now here's Price. Price working baseline. Beautiful look underneath the hoop. And that's going to be a foul called after the fact. That's going to be 2 shots here for Amari Price. She got hit pretty hard there, Lan. That was a late call, but I think it's the right call at least to put her on the free throw line.
I agree, and not to sound biased or anything, but Price has become one of my favorite players in this tournament. I love watching her play. She's just very aggressive, does a good job of creating that contact, and great leadership in a time when her team needs her the most.
We'll see if she can knock down this free throw. She does. So the left-handed throw is good. 9-point game, Piedmont. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left for them to come back in this one on the road. Not an easy thing to do for a team that struggled on the road, relatively at least, throughout this season.
Yeah, fantastic home record throughout the year. They are 7-5 on the, or 5-7 on the road, I believe. And can they get one here in the Seabury Center Arena? That's the big question.
The biggest game of their year, that is for certain for both of these teams. Now Hansard applies the defense on Hampton as she's checked into this ball game, as well as Brittany Walker. Now here's Hampton, the mid-range two, no good, but she'll head to the line for two more.
And there it is, our matchup, Price, Hampton. They keep going back and forth at each other. Now the other one gets to the free throw line and checks back in. Number 23, Nikisha Green, still looking for that final rebound to reach 1,000.
But I think a little, maybe for her at least, a little consolation, even if she doesn't get it. If they do win, she'll get another chance here next week or so. First free throw, no good for Price. Someone rolled all the way around and fell on the wrong side of the cylinder for her.
And even if she does not end up getting that last rebound, 999, oh no.
That almost stands out more than 1,000, I'd argue. Here now is Hampton. That one's second one is no good as well. And Ackerman will pull in the board.
And not a good time to be missing from the line. You really need everything that you can to start putting this game on ice and extending your lead.
Hansard now gives over to Ackerman. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left to play here in regulation. Price has it, guarded by Vanover, and now she'll kick over to Sarah Beth Hansard. The three from Price. Money! The three goes down for Amari Price, and maybe she's going to start getting into the groove of things. 5-point ball game, 2:45 left to play. March Madness, I think this is a pretty darn good tune-up. Here's Hampton. She'll cross the timeline, guarded by Cantrell. Both teams are going to be in the bonus at the next foul. Berea has fouled 5 times. Piedmont, well, more than 5 times. Piedmont's fouled 4. 2 minutes, 30 seconds now. 10 seconds to shoot, and Hampton will work inside. Hampton goes up strong. She's fouled. To the line she goes.
And there it is again, that back and forth. Price saying, I don't want my season to end, nailing that timely shot right there. And Hampton said, no. I'm going to come right back at you, going to the free throw line for a couple more opportunities.
Showing that, you know what, she's got some confidence in herself to go to this line in the biggest game of her career so far and knock these down.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know, a lot of freshmen would shy away in moments like this where your team really is counting on you to knock these down, but Hampton's been no stranger to the big stage.
She hit the big free throw yesterday that was able to give them a 4-point lead in the last few seconds against Maryville, boosting them to a victory in that semifinal matchup. Now she's got her team up by 6, maybe 7 if she can knock this one down. She does. 58-51 now, 2:24 remaining in regulation.
And those free throws are huge, extending their lead to 7 over 2 possessions. It's time for the Piedmont Lions to start fighting back into this one. Got to execute on offense.
Let's see if they can. Here now is Price. Price, so dangerous at every point on the court. Inside now to Walker. That ball stolen away. No, Walker towers over. Now works inside for Cantrell on the low block, and Cantrell gets it done. They're going to call a timeout on the floor. Jamie Purdy wanting to regroup, circle them wagons, and get this Piedmont Lion team back in the game. Down by 5 right now, under 2 to play. Lane, if you're in that huddle right now and you're listening from that Piedmont side, what are you emphasizing here when you go back down on defense against a Berea team that's been getting to the line a lot lately?
Well, I think it starts with closing out on the shooters. You know, you don't want to give them any free opportunities from deep, but, you know, backing off just enough to not create that contact. You don't want to keep sending them back to the line, especially not at this point in time. And then on the other end, once you get that stop and you come down, you got to be able to score. You got to be able to put the ball in the bucket. Otherwise, all that defensive effort's not going to count for anything.
So, again, under 2 to play. Tensions are going to get high. Emotions will certainly run high. You'll see plenty of swings go back and forth, and momentum is going to be so key here.
Yeah, basketball, like I've said throughout this weekend, basketball is a game of runs. Who can get hot at the right time and who can minimize that run on the other end? And it's going to be very interesting to see what these teams come out, what kind of adjustments they made after this timeout, under 2 minutes remaining in this one.
58-53 out of the break on the court for the Lions. You got Price, Cantrell, Ackerman, Walker, and Washington. For Berea, you've got Lanham, Green, Vanover, Hampton, and Barnes. Barnes with 4 fouls, Walker with 4 fouls. Keep an eye out for that, folks at home. Barnes trying to get it in. She'll give it to Vanover. Vanover looking to break the full court press. She indeed has a look. She'll give it up now to Barnes. Barnes running through a defender. It's going to be a foul called on Ackerman, putting Barnes on the line to shoot 2.
And the Lions putting a lot of pressure on the ball handler, seeing if they can maybe get a steal and a transition bucket the other way, but it ends up working out in Berea's favor as they go back to the line.
So as Barnes looks to regather herself, I suppose, after taking a hard fall, we'll see if she was shaken up at all to give her team a 6-point lead. She does. Knocks it down. 59 now to 59 to 53 is our score.
And that makes Barnes 5 of 5 from the line today.
Senior move right there.
43.
Second one's good. 6 for 6 is Barnes as she heads back on defense. And Amari Price, the leader of the Lions, gives it now over to Ackerman. 60 to 53, 1:45 remaining. Amari Price guarded by Aaliyah Hampton. Now inside to Walker. The block, no, it's going to be good. Going right through Nikisha Green, who picks up her 4th foul of the game and knocking it in. Can Walker complete the 3-point play? If she does, it'll only put her team down by 4.
And you saw on that play, they were looking for Price on the perimeter. They wanted to give her another shot, but being the great unselfish player that she is, she keeps the ball alive, keeps her dribble alive, and gets it inside to her big, who's done great work today, gets the and one opportunity and the free throw.
Here's Walker's free throw. That one's good. The 3-point play completed. Berea College leads by 4. A minute 34 left to play. Barnes trying to get it in. She will find Hampton. Hampton, that was a very close 5-second count. Hampton now gets across the timeline. 1:24 left to play. Hampton picks it up and loses her dribble. Milby has a timeout, and he's going to use it.
Yep, smart time to call that timeout. You don't want to give the ball away, especially with 90 seconds remaining in this one. 4-point game.
30-second timeout here on this one, as we will now take a quick break here. So Lane, as this game has gotten just, it was so close at halftime, tied there, a 2-point game at the end of the 3rd quarter. Now in the 4th quarter, Berea able to extend their lead pretty significantly. The Lions, as they always do, both in real life, like in the jungle, in the safari, and here tonight on the floor, clawing and biting and scratching their way back in. They're down by 4 right now. I ain't counting Piedmont out 1 iota here in this game.
Yeah, and it's been a nitty-gritty game. You know, it hasn't been pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but both teams really fighting for this one, really struggling to get any bucket to count, and some inspired defense from both teams.
Here now is Hampton. Berea College, a minute and 23 seconds away from making it to their first NCAA national tournament. Piedmont looking to make it 4 straight in the USA South. 70 seconds left. Here's Lanham. Lanham swings it back in. Now gives it low to Love. Love on the low block goes up strong. No good. And rebounded by Amari Price. Price heaves it down court. A beautiful pass in for Cantrell. No good. Rebound there to Washington. Foul called on, I believe, Hampton. Under a minute to play. That foul does indeed go against, no, Destiny Love. That's her 4th foul. So 56.8 seconds remaining. And Washington will indeed knock down the free throw. Good job by Washington. It's a 1-shot ball game.
Lions struggled today from the line, but that was a big one. And can she make this less than a 1-possession game?
Amari Price will go low here as they send Walker back. Second free throw good. 2 of 2 from that trip to the arc. Here now is Hampton. Hampton working on Cantrell. Looking now maybe to double team. Washington comes forward. Hampton brings it across half court. She'll slow it down.
And here it is, gut check time for these Mountaineers. What are you made of? You have the lead with less than a minute remaining. Can you keep it?
Hampton in the lane, the stop pop. That one's good. 4-point lead for Berea, and Jamie Purdy calls a timeout from the Piedmont bench.
What a timely bucket from your #1 scoring option. Hampton gets that floater to go. The Mountaineers breathe a little sigh of relief after that one. Gives them the 4-point lead, extends it to more than just 1 possession.
62 to 58, 36.4 seconds left, as we, I believe, have a 30-second timeout on the floor. So, Lane, go into these statistics, how these teams got to this point. Berea College, 20 bench points compared to 7 for Piedmont. Really, that's been a huge part of the game. Berea has been deep this game. That's why they're up by 4. However, they've really relied on some of their stars to get them to this point, leading it late. Look at Brie Lanham Look at Aaliyah Hampton. Huge games out of them.
Yeah, and who else would you expect to step up in these moments? You know, Hampton, Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year. We've talked about her a lot. Lanham, all-conference player, been consistent her 4 years here, and finally coming through in the clutch. You know, struggled a little bit early in this tournament scoring-wise, but really lit it up today with 17 and 5 three-pointers as well.
President Lyle Ruloff's for Berea College leading the chants over there, getting the crowd into it, as he should be, obviously leading the way at the administrative level for Berea. Here is Washington will have it, looking to come back for the Lions. She's guarded by Love, goes up for two, no good, rebounded by Nikisha Green, and that's a grand 1,000 rebounds for Green, and a foul's going to be called on Amari Price. 1,000 boards, the first in Berea College's women's basketball history to do so.
And that is just one of the most impressive feats that I've ever been able to witness. What effort all 4 years from Green. She has been consistent no matter what the game has looked like, and really coming through for her team in the clutch. Gets that 1,000th rebound, and you love to see that.
Here now is Hampton. Free throw on the way is money. 5-point lead now for the Mountaineers, 63-58. On the verge of making, as I mentioned earlier, to their first NCAA national tournament.
Couple of historic moments here for Berea on the line if they can win this one.
Hampton's free throw is good. Wiley will check in. Got to think that from beyond the arc, she's dangerous, no doubt about it. We've got a timeout on the floor. 27.2 seconds left. Lane, shot clock now rendered irrelevant, I would argue at least, here going forward. Berea College up by 2 3-pointers, right? 6 points separate these two teams. For Piedmont, are you running a quick bucket or are you looking for something outside?
I say ideally you're looking for the three. However, if you have a quick bucket, get that quickly and try to get some free throws. You know, free throws are fantastic. It extends the game, gives you some more time, free opportunities. But if you have the three, you need to take it.
And Nikisha Green, a beautiful moment here as she's cheered on by her home faithful, as she's announced over by our PA announcer Joe Salim that she has just achieved her 1,000th rebound. 27.2 seconds left. Ackerman will inbound. Lions looking to create the big comeback. Here now is Price, giving it now to Walker for three. That one's no good. Rebounded by Washington. It goes out of bounds. No, Hampton has it. She puts it on the sideline. It will stay with Piedmont. Good effort there by Hampton. She got pushed out of bounds. However, Berea College can't be angry about it right now. You got to get back on defense.
Absolutely. You know, the grind doesn't stop right now. You think that you have the lead, but nothing's safe. You got to give your all on this defensive possession. No fouls. Be smart. Don't foul him on a three-pointer.
Ackerman cool as a cucumber. Gets it into Wiley. The three blocked by Vanover. Goes out of bounds, and it's Berea College's basketball. No, they're going to say it was blocked by Vanover. Wait, did I say it was blocked by Vanover? I may have said it was blocked by Vanover. It goes out of bounds. It stays with Piedmont. 13.5 seconds left. Berea's defense holding true. Piedmont now with it. Gives it now over to Ackerman. The wild three is no good. Rebounded by Vanover. Under 10 now to play. Vanover off and running. She will hold on to it. That's a foul called on Amari Price. 5.2 seconds left in lane with one free throw made. Berea College, and it may already be over, but Berea College will most certainly punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Oh yeah, and you can see it in the crowd. Everyone's on their feet, the whole bench. Milby's out there screaming. Everyone's passionate. Team that has worked so hard all year to get to this point, finally.
Free throw is good, and that should just about do it. A timeout called by Coach Milby, and Milby showing some excitement for Berea as the crowd gets into it with 5.2 seconds left in a three-shot game.
And, you know, it's still not necessarily over. Crazier things have happened.
Of course, it's basketball, man.
Absolutely. But for the Berea faithful, for the Mountaineers, the Lady Mountaineers themselves, they are hyped right now as you see Hampton pumping her fists as they get out onto the court. What a feeling of effort and dedication all season paying off into one big grand moment for them.
So 5.2 seconds remain as Vanover heads back to the free throw line. Berea College on the verge of going dancing. Vanover, this place, you can hear a pin drop in here. Vanover's free throw. And that one's good. My name's Pin Drop, actually. That's why people could hear me. So 3 seconds left. The final shot by Ackerman, no good. Berea College, the Mountaineers have climbed the mountain, and they're going dancing.
And they storm the court, and look at the pure joy and jubilation on their faces. And, a heartbreaker here for Piedmont. But you can't help but compliment their program. They got to this position for the 4th year in a row right now. And, just a lot of things to like. Can't ultimately get the win as Berea comes out on top, but great effort from the Lions.
Hats off to Piedmont as they played one heck of a ball game, as they always do. Coach Purdy's got a fantastic program there. And Coach Trent Milby will head to the national tournament for the first time in his collegiate coaching career. Trentwood Milby, 3rd time, I suppose, was the charm for him, Lane, as they were able to move through the Lions here in this championship bowl game, and will now go on to the national tournament as Coach Milby, more animated than I have ever seen him in my life. And I was coached by the guy even, so he is an absolute character, and really hats off to Berea College for finally getting to that pinnacle and now going on. They've got bigger games ahead of them now, Lane. Crazy to say, but the Mountaineers are finally here to stay.
Coming into this game, the all-tournament all weekend, we were asking the same question. Are they going to be able to finally make this their year? Can they finally beat the Lions and take it home, the chip, and they finally get that result that they've always looked for?
And on top of that, they get to cut some nets. They're going to cut some nets at the end of the day.
Yep, and they cut the nets a couple weeks ago as regular season champions.
And that's nice.
That is nice, but does it really compare to the feeling of cutting the nets as tournament champions?
Especially at home as well. That's very big for Berea College, as they will have the all-tournament team awards given out now for both of these squads. First from Berea. Bree Lanham gets on that board.
Absolutely.
Great game out of Bree Lanham in this one. Unofficial statistics that we have here on the
she
USA
ends
South
the day
site.
with 17 points and 5 made three-pointers. What a great effort. And what can you say about the senior that hasn't been said today? Also 10 rebounds.
It's a double-double for her. Bailey Vanover also going in this all-tournament team and getting some recognition from our commissioner here of the USA South.
Yep.
She had a huge game yesterday, especially, and against Maryville. Destiny Love coming off the bench. What a great story out of her, obviously. Coming off of the bench, having 18 rebounds yesterday, and unofficially today, a great game out of her as well. 10 and 7 on the points and boards line. Nikisha Green got her 1,000th board here at home. A storybook ending to this home season for the Berea College Mountaineers.
Yeah, just having so many different players contribute in so different meaningful ways. Vanover, her numbers don't look great in the box score today, but the impact that she's had on the game and just really being one of those leaders that the team looks to has been huge for them.
And the player of the conference tournament goes to none other than the USA South Player and Rookie of the Year, Aaliyah Hampton. Also recognized in that all-conference team would be Amari Price and Washington for Piedmont. Excellent games out of them. They are phenomenal basketball players. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw some of them playing in the all-nation team, right, all-American game at the end of the year. They do that, actually, before the national tournament game, the national championship game.
A bit of an all-star type of game.
Exactly. It's a really cool thing to see. I believe, actually, I could be wrong. I want to say Amari Price might have been on that team last year. I couldn't remember. I was watching it briefly out in Roanoke. But now this year, Berea College going to get a chance to make a run in March, and we'll see how far that can take them. 66-58 is our final score in this one. And now Berea College will get the recognition as the USA South Conference Tournament champions, as Bree Lanham will run out, shake the hand of the commissioner, grab the trophy, the USA South trophy, so coveted, as Coach Milby jumping around, excited with his girls, as they will see who they're going to take on now. Now it's going to get real interesting, Lane, because I said earlier, this was the biggest game of their career, right, getting to this point.
But it's not over.
And it's not the biggest game ever now, because guess what? Every game on out is the biggest game of their career, and Berea College going to have to make sure that they show out for BC and the USA South as they represent them in the national tournament. Berea College celebrating down under. We've got the official statistics here. And it seems as if, indeed, we were pretty accurate on what we had online. Amari Price leads the way for Piedmont, 16 points for her, 7 boards. Brittany Walker, 11 points, 7 boards. Nakia Washington, 11 points, 5 boards. Good games overall for all of those players. But Berea College was led by really Aaliyah Hampton, 23 points and 6 rebounds. I mean, that's a huge game out of the freshman. Only a freshman. That's incredible to say.
Yeah, she's going to have a bright, bright future here in the Seabury Center Arena, and I'm going to be really grateful to get to watch and commentate some more of her games, and it's been a lot of fun watching her this year, and just the whole team atmosphere that they've created as they get to cut the nets right here. Well deserved, a lot of hard work, and Nikisha Green, and enough can't be said about her reaching 1,000 rebounds, something that we've never seen before and may never see again, and just commend her for that effort. Destiny Love coming off the bench, playing great, and just so many players contributing. Kristen Barnes, her senior year, Bethany Williams as well, a couple of seniors really getting to live it up here in their final moments as Mountaineers.
Bree Lanham, the senior for Berea College, what a big game she had this year. Number 32, the first one up there to cut the nets. She's helped build this program right from the very beginning, and she's able to celebrate a little bit with her team as she gets a little bit of the net. So it's a great thing to see here for the Mountaineers as they will now represent the USA South, as I mentioned, in that national tournament. For the other teams, William Peace, Piedmont, who knows? Now it's kind of up to the committee, and that's a scary place to be. But if indeed this is the last game that a lot of these seniors play here for Piedmont in the NCAA Division III level, I'd argue that, you know what, they left it all out there, and they have nothing to be ashamed of. Fantastic careers for all of them.
Absolutely, and you know, not just the big name players, the whole Lions roster was there. They were engaged in the final moments, whether they played or not. That bench was into it, and they were animated, and that's all you can really ask from those players who don't really get to see the court a lot. You make sure that they're in tune emotionally and helping their teammates get motivated.
And so this will draw a conclusion to conference play here for the 2019-2020 season. As this progression will go on, I'm sure our camera will still be on there. It may not be. We'll wait and find out. But, guys, it has been an absolute delight to call this conference tournament Final Four for you. From the very beginning of this, we had great matchups between Berea and Maryville. Before that, we saw great matchups, obviously, in the quarterfinal matchups as well at the respective locations. Berea College was able to move through, and then William Peace and Piedmont treated us to a wonderful basketball game yesterday. And today, an even better one as Berea College and Piedmont put on an absolute classic. And Berea College, finally, third time's the charm for Coach Milby as he's able to down the Lions and become king of the Safari, at least for this year.
And he's going home. He's putting that trophy in his bed. He's going to sleep with that. He ain't letting it out of his sight.
Coach Milby and Naismith, Coach of the Year award winner just a couple of years ago before he made the leap into college basketball after a perfect season with the Lady Knights of now Marion County. The Marion County Lady Knights, of course, in high school. An incredible run here for Coach Milby, and it's a delight to see all of that. And Lane, man, thank you for coming on here and let me broadcast with you.
It was a lot of fun coming into my arena. I'll let you take the reins a little bit, but I feel like I learned a lot, had a lot of fun out here, and it's been great to share this experience with you.
Let's do it again next time, huh?
Absolutely.
All right,
we'll
looking forward to it. Big shouts, obviously, to our camera guy, of course, Dong, who's running our camera for us. Awesome job by him. Joe Salim, Ryan Hess, our athletic director at Berea College, who's allowed us to come in here. Kevin Kim, the assistant AD, or excuse me, the assistant SID, who's helped put all of this together and get us on this broadcast, and everyone else who's helped make this broadcast possible. The USA South has been treated to some great basketball, and we're excited to see how they go in the national tournament. The Mountaineers are dancing, everybody. Go celebrate if you're watching these Mountaineers, and continue to follow them as they go along. I'm sure the USA South website at usasouth.net will keep up with that. But other than that, that's all for us, folks. For Lane Hinton, my name's Nate Metz. We'll see you next time here on the Berea College Sports Network.